controversy coming out of the Paris 2024 Olympics this year was almost as interesting as the sport. It was as if you woke up each morning and something a little bit more outrageous was happening. Of course, this provided us with a lot of entertainment, but at the same time, there are some serious situations that need to be resolved. And one of those situations is that there were some athletes that should not have even been competing at the Olympics this year. Some even went on to win medals and have gained even more fame and popularity in the process. Let's start with Steven van der Velde, who's a beach volleyball player, but also happens to be a convicted rapist. In 2013, Steven confessed to raping a 12-year-old girl when he was 19 years of age. And this isn't information that's just come out or wasn't known. On the 24th of June, over a month before the Olympics, there was a petition that now has 135,000 signatures calling on the Olympic Committee to disqualify Steven. But here he is 1 month later competing in one of the biggest sporting events in the entire world as an Olympian and even made it to the quarterfinals. Fortunately, he didn't have it easy. The spectators who did know about this made sure that he had a really rough time every single time he played. Check out this video. Perfectly justified if you ask me, and let's get this clear. You are putting a convicted rapist on one of the world's biggest stages? Olympians are admired, Olympians are aspirational, so what message are you sending out to the world if you put a rapist on one of the biggest global stages? How is this even possible? I'm not saying that the guy's family needs to suffer for this. I'm not saying that he needs to go live in a dark hole for the rest of his life. He supposedly did some prison time too. Whether that is a justifiable amount of time is a completely different story, but I digress. The point is that he should not have been allowed to compete in these games. And in fact, any athlete that is convicted of child abuse should not be allowed to compete in the Olympic Games. It is just the most obvious and categorical no there is. And since then, Steven has done his first television interview where he broke down in tears and also says that he doesn't identify with that version of himself anymore. Let's take a look at this.
Heb je zelf ooit de twijfel gehad of het moreel te verantwoorden is dat jij daar gaat staan?
Nee, dit vraagstuk heb ik me niet afgevraagd. Nee? Wat ik zeg, ik identificeer me niet met de tiener van 10 jaar geleden, inmiddels 11. Dus ja, ik ben een ander persoon. Ik ben volwassen. Ik ben niet meer, vind ik, dezelfde persoon. En alles is anders. Dus ik vind het heel moeilijk om dan daaraan vast te grijpen. Als je het hebt over rehabilitatie. Van ja, als je erover nadenkt, wat wil je dat iemand doet? Iemand wegkwijnt in een hoekje voor de rest van zijn leven. Wat brengt dat de maatschappij? Wat zou zo iemand nog meer toebrengen op een later stadium?
Yes, that may have been 11 years ago, but he was 19 years old. At 19 years old, you're not the smartest person in the world, but you have a good amount of consciousness of what is right and wrong. And you have significantly more consciousness than a 12-year-old. From my understanding, he flew over from the Netherlands to the UK to meet this girl. And supposedly, she'd initially told him that he was 16, but then revealed that she was not, and she was in fact 12. So he was very aware of this. He was communicating with her for months, yet he still flew over to go and meet her and then ended up raping her. He had so many opportunities to put this to a stop, and that's why he deserves all of the consequences. So Steven, we don't actually care too much of how you want to contribute to society moving forward. Do whatever you have to do to right your wrongs. However, the Olympic stage is not the place for you. The next is Emain Khalif. I am not here to spread misinformation. However, if an athlete is known to fail a gender eligibility test just 1 year before the Olympics, you need to look into that. Here's what the president of the International Boxing Association said. The result of the chromosome test demonstrate both boxers were ineligible. I believe this was Emain and another supposedly female athlete. He said the results of the test had been sent to the International Olympic Committee in June last year and they had done nothing with it. And here's what the IOC president had to say about this.
This is not a question of inclusion. This has never played a role in all this. This is a question of justice. Women have the right to participate in women's participation. And we will not rely on which test. I have been seeing a transcript of this very interesting press conference of this organization, where it was not even clear which tests have been performed, which results they have been produced. Women must be allowed to take part in women's competitions. And the two are women.
If you're not sure about the tests, then do your own. He also said this: we have two boxers who were born as women, raised as women, who have passports as women, and who have competed for many years as women, and this is a clear definition of a woman. Then why did she fail a gender eligibility test? Whatever this athlete identifies as is completely up to them. It is their life, it's their choice, and whatever. However, this has a very clear solution. Way before the Olympics takes place, do your own gender eligibility test. Go run a DNA test to ensure that everything is as it should be. Stop the speculation, give conclusive evidence, and these committees should be able to reveal these results, at least to the athletes, to give them peace of mind. If biological men are competing against biological women, something bad is going to happen, especially in a sport like boxing, and unfortunately, the world is only going to wake up when something devastating truly happens. What message are we sending to the world here? When a man hits a woman in the street or at home, it is called physical abuse and is rightfully condemned. But when a man hits a woman in a boxing ring, it's called sport. It's globally televised and people go and pay to watch it. This is outrageous. If you're a part of the Olympic Committee, do your job. If in fact this athlete is actually a woman, then you are doing them a favor by not subjecting them to this speculation, this online abuse, which they seem to be getting a fair share of. And if this athlete is not, you are doing every single female in the sport a favor and potentially saving their lives in the process too. There needs to be black and white clear lines here, because there's a lot of people even saying that she could be intersex, which I've actually never heard of before. So the definition is that people who are intersex have genitals, chromosomes, or reproductive organs that don't fit into a male/female sex binary. Their genitals might not match their reproductive organs, or they may have traits of both. Being intersex may be evident at birth, childhood, later in adulthood, or never. And if this is the case, then we need rules and regulations around this. International Olympic Committee, do better. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and you can be one of the special ones who can say, I was here first. Comment your thoughts down below, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.